Good morning, children. This is Martin sir. Today we are going to discuss about the second lesson, rain and rivers. Rain and rivers. Okay. In this class, we will discuss about how the rains are formed, how the rivers are formed, what causes rain, and how the clouds are formed, how the evaporation is formed. Okay, these are the topics in this class we will discuss about. Okay, before that we should know about the rain and the rivers. Both are having the common word, and the common thing is rain is having water and the rivers is also having water. Okay, before that, before entering into our lesson, we should discuss about the need of water in our human lives. The need of the water in human lives or living organisms. Suppose if you see our earth, if you see the surface of the earth, the 71% of the surface of the earth is covered with 71% of earth is covered with water, and the remaining 29% is covered with continents. The land which we are living, that is suitable for our living purposes. Okay, the remaining 71% of the earth is covered with the oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, like this. Okay, among these 71% of the water occupying the water, among these 71%, only 1% of water is useful for us. Okay, 1% of water is the pure water. The remaining 70% of the water is salt water. The water which is in seas, oceans, that is not useful for drinking and for our daily uses. Okay. Now, if you see the living organisms bodies, if you see the human body, almost 71% of the human bodies or the living organisms bodies is having, like 71% of the human bodies is also having water content. In human bodies also, humans also 71% of water, and the remaining 29% of our body is having bones, skin, those are hair, nails. These are the remaining 29%. If you see the entire body of human, the human body is occupying 71% with water content. Only 29% of the human body is having the remaining parts. Okay. Now coming to our lesson. What causes rain? What causes rain? For example, when you want to bath in winter season, in the early morning, when you want to take a bath in the early morning in the winter season, generally we are taking warm water. To take bath in winter season. Okay, suppose if you keep the lid on the water vessel, the hot water vessel, you can observe after some time a small drops of water droplets which they are formed in the bottom surface of the lid. In the bottom surface of the lid, we can observe the small droplets of water. Okay, how these small droplets of water are formed on the lid? Suppose when you keep a lid on the warm water or boiled water, after some time we can observe the small droplets of water are formed on the bottom surface of the lid. How they are formed? Because if you see the boiled water or warm water, from the boiled water, from the boiled water, the water is vaporing. The water is converting into the fumes, or the water is converting into the small droplets, tiny small droplets, and they are going up from the water. They are going up from the boiled water. Okay, due to this formation of evaporation, the water droplets are going from the boiled water. Okay, one more example. Suppose if you want to dry your wet cloths in the open. If you want to dry your wet cloths in the open, suppose if you hang them for some time at outside, you can, after some time our clothes are dry. After some time, if you observe your clothes, the clothes are dried. Okay, what happened? What happened to the clothes? Before some time, the clothes are wet. After some time, the clothes are dry. What happened? What is happening in the middle of this? Okay, the water which is present in the clothes is evaporated. The water which is present in the clothes or fiber parts is converted into water vapor, and the water vapor goes up to the atmosphere. Okay, one more example. One more example for the evaporation. One more example for the evaporation is, suppose if you keep some water, in the plate, if you keep some water in the plate at the open side or at some days, if you keep them for some days, the water will disappear from the plate. Suppose if you keep some water in the plate and keep them outside for some days, the water will disappear. The water will disappear from the plate after some days. Okay, what is happening to the water which is present in the plate? Okay, the water is converted into water vapor, and the water vapor goes up high. Okay, this entire process is called evaporation. This entire process is called evaporation. Now coming to the process evaporation. Okay, evaporation means the change of water. The change of water into water vapor. The change of water into water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Is known as evaporation. Is known as evaporation. Okay, suppose we can observe different types of water bodies around us. We can observe different types of water bodies. Okay, for example, water bodies. Some water bodies, for example, water bodies like, what are the different types of water bodies which we can observe around us? What are the different types of water bodies which we can observe around us? Those are oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, and some canals. These are the water bodies. These are the water bodies which we can observe in our daily life. Okay. In the previous example, we can observe the water is converted into water vapor. If you keep the water vapor in a plate for some time or for some days in the outside, the water will disappear from the plate like that. Okay, without boiling the water is converting into the water vapor. In this process, we should observe one thing: without boiling the water is converted into water vapor. Okay, like that. Okay, suppose if you observe, there are so many water bodies are located around us. There are oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, and canals. Okay, from these water bodies, the water is evaporated during the daytime. The water is converted into the water vapor during the daytime. Okay, why the water is converted into water vapor in the during daytime only? During daytime only, why the evaporation takes place? Evaporation takes place at any temperature. Why? Because during the daytime we are having a sun rays. That's why the evaporation takes place during daytime. Okay, that's why the process evaporation which takes place during daytime only. Okay, in nighttime also the evaporation is takes place, but in very low amount of water is converted into water vapor during nighttime. The evaporation process is very high during daytime. Okay, because of the sun process. Okay, now coming to the formation of clouds. How the clouds are formed? What causes rain? How we are getting rains? Okay, formation of clouds. Okay, along with the water bodies like oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, canals, the evaporation takes place in humans, plants, animals, trees, and soil. Along with the water bodies, the evaporation takes place in humans, plants, animals, and the soil. From the soil also the evaporation takes place. Okay, suppose if it is the evaporation process, it is the sun. When the sun rays are falling on the water bodies, the water converted into the water vapor. And the evaporation also takes place in from trees. Suppose if you see different types of soils, from soils also the evaporation takes place from trees, and from humans, from plants, and from animals also the evaporation takes place. Okay, when the water which is present in these water bodies is converting into the water vapor is very lighter than the water. That's why the water vapor goes up high and form as the clouds. Okay, due to the converting of water into water vapor, the clouds are formed. Which is far away from the surface of the earth. Why? Because the water droplets or the water vapor is which is very lighter than the water. That's why the lighter air goes up high and formed as the clouds. Okay, whenever these clouds Whenever these clouds strikes by cool winds, these clouds strikes by cool winds, the tiny water droplets are the water vapor which comes together and form the comes together and to form the tiny droplets. Tiny droplets, and these tiny droplets all together to form a small droplets of water. Whenever the small droplets of water formed, they cannot remain in the clouds. That's why immediately the falling will start. The falling of these small droplets of water we will call it as rain. Once again, whenever the small droplets or the tiny droplets comes together and form the small droplets of water, these small droplets of water comes together and form a big water droplets. Due to the heavy particle or due to the heavy of water, the water drops cannot remain in the